Party used Kamala Harris as a scapegoat. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear is for entertainment and educational purposes only. These are only the opinions of mine and others. Everything is allegedly. Why do I say the Democratic Party used Kamala Harris as a scapegoat? Well, she doesn't belong to the Republican Party. So I can't say the Republican Party used her as a scapegoat. She belonged to the Democrat Party. They knew way before Kamala ran against Trump. They knew it was time to sit Biden down. Salute positive vibes, but they didn't. Let's go to some legal experts. But the Democrat Party, they knew. And they had ample amount of time to set Biden down as well as prepare Kamala for the election. Salute, Brother Nazir.
Were spent in just 3 months. To make matters worse, reports show the Harris campaign is $20 million in the red. Although the campaign is denying the reports, Democrats now are left picking up the pieces and looking for answers on where all the money went and what's next for the party. Joining me.
$1 billion spent in 3 months. That's a lot of money. Where did they spend the money? Well, we know where they spent the money. Salute, Nola.
Reports Democrats now are left picking up the pieces and looking for answers on where all the money went and what's next for the party. Joining me now is the Hill's national political reporter, Julia Manchester. Julia, thanks so much for coming on. You have this article that's out now about this $1 billion that was spent. They lost the popular vote, Democrats. They lost all 7 swing states. There's been this controversy over these production costs. Oprah's company apparently received $1 million. There's been a cost associated with other celebrity events. Beyonce, she didn't even sing. I don't know how they spent that much money, but what do you make and what is being said about all this money that Democrats spent on this campaign just to lose?
Well, it's important to note that none of these figures, the celebrity figures like Oprah, Beyonce, they did not take personal fees, but it's the production costs around this, building the stages, getting all of this set. And it's not just these big celebrity events. I mean, door knocking operations are also very expensive. Ad spending is very expensive. I mean, going on air in some of these large media markets, frankly, costs money. So this is where that debt is coming from, but there's a lot of, or the reported debt seems to be coming from the campaign, says it's not in debt, that is not false, but at the same time, we're hearing reports that there are still vendors that are essentially sending receipts to the Harris campaign asking to be paid.
Is there infighting inside the Democratic Party over how all this is handled, or is it just like, hands washed, $1 billion, let's move on?
I think any time after a campaign wraps and the losing campaign is under scrutiny, there is lots of finger pointing, what went wrong, just in general, not just with spending. But we are seeing some, and we chatted with a number of DNC members who were upset with the way money was spent, donors who gave to the campaign. They feel that their money wasn't spent the way they would like it to. That being said, though, there are a lot of defenders of Kamala Harris who say she was given a near impossible task, becoming the presumptive Democratic nominee, roughly 3 months before Election Day, that she had this very high road to take. And there is some finger pointing at Joe Biden for not getting out soon enough.
What about these reports?
Stay right there. Stay right there, y'all. It don't take a rocket scientist to see what happened. It don't take a rocket scientist to see what happened. Y'all didn't give this lady ample amount of time, and y'all just threw her in there. For all of that, y'all could have just saved her and let Biden. Salute Ebek. Brother Nazir says, Kamala Harris threw parties all over the U.S. and booked every entertainer from each state. And that was just stupid. Like, but in her defense, you know, she does have a defense because we all know that she is just a puppet. You know, she only gonna dance to the drums of the Democrat Party. They set her up. Now, the question is, Positive Vibe says Biden wouldn't have been no good either. They was damned either way. And that's true. Now, the question at hand to me is, what if we push her out there to be the scapegoat and have everything get blamed on her? And if you notice, now all the blame is focused on Kamala. Nobody is pretty much saying too much about Biden. Well, it was his administration. You know, everybody is skipping over the horrible job that Biden done. They use Kamala as the scapegoat. We're going to get her to take the fall. I mean, they've been doing it for as long as I can remember. Why not push her out there? She didn't see it coming, you know, in her defense. She just didn't see it coming because even she thought that she had a chance of beating Trump. And in my opinion, she could have beat Trump. This is just my opinion, y'all. She could have beat Trump if she was properly prepared. Brother, salute Mama Boo. Appreciate you for pulling up. Thanks, Mama Boo. Thanks. Brother Nazir says facts. She became the nominee at the end of the summer. That was illegal, not being in the primaries. She didn't campaign. She didn't have time. Didn't have time at all. But like I said, you know, I know that she even felt, Trump, I could beat him with flying colors. But let's go to Kamala. All right, let's go to Kamala. And let's see what we can find out. And this is Kamala and Reverend Al Sharpton. Shout out to Kamala Harris.
Work that my life will have proven to have been a life that is about fighting for the people.
As with any presidential candidate, Kamala Harris did do some interviews on the campaign trail. You just watched a clip of her interview with Al Sharpton. What I didn't expect, though, was that she was paying prior to the interviews being conducted. Either the production companies associated with the host that was interviewing her would get paid, or in the case of Al Sharpton, her campaign made two $250,000 donations in September and October to the National Action Network, which is the nonprofit that Al Sharpton runs. All right.
And see, that's how they dress it up. If y'all notice, that's how they dress it up. Well, she didn't necessarily pay the celebrities. She paid for the production. Yeah, me and you both know Oprah, Beyonce, and the rest of them, they got paid out of it. So I understand it's politics. So they got to dress it up to make it seem like they didn't pay the celebrities. Well, they just paid the production. Yeah, right.
So he wasn't the only one. The campaign also gave $350,000 to New Vision Media on September 9th, which is run by Roland Martin.
And I guess that's, I guess that explains why Roland Martin, I guess that's why and what Roland Martin has his issue with Trump. Look at here, everybody. The campaign also gave a $350,000 payment to New Vision Media on September the 9th, which is run by Roland Martin. You can't make this ish up. No wonder why Roland has been going to bat for Kamala. You can't make this up, family.
Now, Martin interviewed Harris on his show back in October for about 30 minutes. And Martin did confirm that he did receive that money, but that money was for advertisement. And then he added this in typical Roland Martin fashion. It should have been a hell of a lot more. More should have been spent on Black-owned media. Well, Roland, I'm here to give you the good news because she did spend more on Black media, just not you.
Wow. And let me just say this, y'all, because I respect it. And I'm not mad, because this is why I tell you all to support the channel. Now, if Roland could get $350,000, I'm sure Shankrock can get $3 from you all. It's 106 watching. If I get $3 from all 106 that's watching, that's $3. That's $300 plus dollars. Hit the Cash App, everybody, with $3. The Cash App is $ERICMCINT. After all, I'm Black media. Make sure y'all support Black media. Now, I understand I understand the game that he's playing. I understand the game that they all are playing. It's politics. Salute, Brent. Salute, Brent. I see you. Salute, Coffee Girl. I see y'all down there in the chat. It's all politics. It comes with the territory. So believe it or not, I ain't mad at them. I'm not mad at them. It falls back on the Democrat Party. And this is why I'm saying in Kamala's defense, and in my opinion, they knew that she didn't stand a chance against Trump. Why? Because Trump has his supporters. You ain't knocking Trump for none of his supporters. He got his supporters. So you ain't gonna knock Trump for his supporters. Biden and Trump, this is Trump. Biden is way down here. And I went over this on a previous demonstration. So Trump is way up here in the votes. Biden is way down here. Now they give Kamala a very, 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 very hard task to accomplish. They sent her on an assignment knowing Trump is leading Biden by this much in the votes. So what Kamala has to do is Kamala has to come in. Kamala has to go after these votes that Trump got. Trump had it on lock. And those that wasn't voting for Trump, they backed out from voting for Biden because Biden was looking bad. So they set Kamala up to be the scapegoat. What do y'all think? What are y'all thoughts? Drop it in the chat and let me know. What are y'all thoughts?
Because when it came to her interview with Oprah, we had previously heard that she had spent, or her campaign, I should say, had spent $1 million paying Harpo Productions, which is Oprah's production company. But later, the filings indicated that a lot more was spent, and this is according to the filings obtained by the New York Times. The Harris campaign spent $2.5 million on that interview. Okay? Yeah.
$2.5 million on an interview. $2.5 million on an interview. This is where they went wrong at. 2.5 on an interview. Appreciate that cash donation, E-Bet. Appreciate that cash donation, E-Bet. We got 195 people. If we can get 195 people to donate at least $3 to the Cash App. The Cash App is $ERICMCINT. But they spent a lot of money that they didn't have to spend.
And Winfrey, by the way, clarified on Instagram that she was not paid a dime for the event. The money actually went toward, the staffing and the lighting and all of the other equipment that was necessary for the interview. She says, quote, "For the live streaming event in September, my production company, Harpo, was asked to bring in set design, lights, camera, crew, producers, and every other item necessary, including the benches and the chairs we sat on, to put on a live production. I did not take any personal fee. However, the people who worked on that production needed to be paid and were. End of story.
And I'm not mad. The Cash App, Bryn, is $. Can I get a moderator? Can I get my moderators to drop my Cash App? The Cash App is $ERICMCINT. Can I get my moderators to drop my Cash App? I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at them at all. I mean, somebody got to get paid. So I'm not mad. I'm mad at the Democrat Party. Let it finish.
End of story.
So, okay, I'm going to let you jump in because, look, the way I see it is there are news shows that typically interview candidates, right? So when Donald Trump went on Rogan, he didn't give Rogan money ahead of time. At least, as far as we know, the Trump campaign did not do that. That's why it's referred to as earned media. You know, that 3-hour sit-down conversation wasn't something that he had to spend any campaign money on, but obviously it paid some pretty handsome dividends considering the fact that Joe Rogan has a massive audience. And
Coffee Girl says Kamala was campaigning while she was vice president. Too tough. And see, this is what I'm saying as far as she just didn't have enough time. I'm not mad at her. She just didn't have enough time. I mean, they did. She basically, was like, okay, how can we get these votes? So now you got her backed up in the corner. How can she get these votes? How can we get her these votes? As Bryn says, Trump was campaigning for 4 years. So in my honest opinion, it was not Kamala's fault. Salute Sharon, salute Sharon. It wasn't Kamala's fault. You going up against a candidate that had 4 years to campaign and you are only given 3 months to campaign. The Democrat Party done Kamala dirty. The Democrat Party done Kamala Harris dirty. So now you got her scrambling and running around seeing who all she can get. I'm not mad at her. I'm not mad at her. She only going by the Democrat lead. They leading the charge.
And that podcast episode did really well numbers wise. And so I don't know why Harris didn't go in that direction. I'm not saying she had to do Joe Rogan's show, but I'm saying there are other shows. Like, you don't need to pay for their production because they have a production already. They do a daily show or a weekly show. You could have gone on those shows instead.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. It wasn't her fault. They didn't give her enough time. If you agree with me that it wasn't her fault, they didn't give her enough time, drop a 1. If you disagree with me, drop a 2. Drop a 1 if you agree with me, drop a 2 if you disagree. I just feel like they didn't give her enough time. Salute, Tracy. Salute.
But they didn't want to. They only
Right.
wanted to go on the shows that they bribed. So look, let me be clear. First off, Roland is not entirely wrong. You could do ads in shows and then go on the shows. In fact, that's what they do with mainstream media. They do tons of ads on NBC, CNN, Fox News, etc., and then they get interviewed by those. By the way, that's also why cable news is a bunch of ass kissers, because one of their top clients are the politicians themselves. So that's why they're always like, oh, the politicians are having an honest debate. Oh my God, their donor money doesn't affect them at all. They're honorable people, right? Because they don't want to offend one of their top advertisers. So that's a different issue and an interesting issue and one we talk about all the time. So if Roland says that it went to ads, it went to ads. Okay, I trust him on that. And to me, that's a little bit of a different category, okay? But first, Al Sharpton, you pay a nonprofit and then the guy interviews you on his media. Is that media what he does? And then he gives you the biggest softball interview that anybody's ever seen after you were after you were given $250,000 for your nonprofit.
No, $500,000. $250,000 on 2 different occasions.
Oh, yeah.
Let me stop and read these comments. Now, Crystal Hippie says, this is 100% Kamala's fault. And the sooner y'all figure that out, the better you will be in the future. Drop a one. Drop a one if y'all believe Crystal Hippie. Drop a two if y'all disagree. Salute Miss Groovy. Coffee Girl says double tap the screen, y'all. Double tap that screen and hit the like button. Salute 10 mil. Salute 10 mil. So Crystal Hippie disagrees with me. Crystal Hippie feels as though it was 100% Kamala's fault. I respect your opinion, Crystal. I respect your opinion. Who else feels that it was Kamala's fault? Let me know.
Yeah, okay. So look, Al Sharpton's been doing this type of scam for decades. But now,
Let me say this, because I see your comment, Cable Dude. Cable Dude says more time would not have helped Kamala. In my opinion, more time would have helped Kamala. Now, this is just my opinion, y'all. I feel like if they had more time to campaign, then they wouldn't have had to pay. Do you realize how much money that they paid the celebrities? Do you realize how much money they paid for the interviews? And they didn't get nothing out of them. If they had more time, it's like playing a game. It's like playing chess. Appreciate that, 10 mil. Appreciate that. Crystal says, I do appreciate your words, though. You're speaking logically. You're not just fighting people that might disagree with you. No. That's what the platform is about. The platform is about we all have an opinion. We all have a voice. So, and I listen to everybody and I do my best, but I'm not able to address everybody's comment. I'm not able to address everybody's question. Salute, Kiki, but I do my best to try to interact with the chat. But if you want your comment read or a question answered, just grab a super chat. But like I said, for me, I feel like if Kamala had more time, no positive vibes. The first one is capitalized, just the E. So it's $ capital E. Then the rest are lowercase. So it's capital E, RICMCINT. If Kamala had more time, she only had 3 months, Crystal. She only had 3 months, Cable Dude. Trump had 4 years. For me, and this is just my opinion, Trump and Kamala compared to Trump and Biden, appreciate that cash donation, Renz. Appreciate that cash donation, Renz. If Trump was beating Biden like this is Trump with the votes. This is Biden. Now, Kamala brought something completely different from what Biden brought. One thing she brought was her age. Her age compared to Biden's age. Biden was suffering from Alzheimer's. So we know Biden wasn't going to win. However, Kamala comes in. Kamala is younger. She has experience, right? So if she had more time, I'm not saying that she would have won, but I'm saying she would have stood a hell of a chance. Appreciate that cash donation, Tommy. Appreciate that cash donation, Tommy. Appreciate that cash donation, Stephanie. Appreciate that cash donation, Stephanie.
protection complex. Okay? Oh, you can't say that about Al Sharpton. Oh, come on, man. He's been asking corporations and politicians, etc., for money for his nonprofits. And then he comes out and goes, now they are good people and not racist anymore, now that they have given me money.
I agree with him on that when it comes to Al Sharpton, y'all. I agree with him on that when it comes to Al Sharpton. All that money. Come on now. Salute, Marty. I see y'all down there. Okay, appreciate that positive vibes. Appreciate that cash donation, positive vibes. My bad.
Comcast, by the way, you should look into that. Okay, so then you go to Oprah. We broke down that interview for you guys here. It was a celebrity fest, and it was counterproductive. And look, Oprah did the best she could. Kamala's answers were terrible, so she would like encourage her. She would give her like a big intro, like it would be great if you said this.
She was helping her answer the questions after asking the questions.
Both before and after, she's coaching the bejesus out of Kamala Harris because she needed the coaching. Do I think Oprah took money? No.
And let me just say this also. This is why, in my opinion, y'all, and this is just my opinion, it wasn't Kamala's fault. She just got thrown out there. She got thrown out there in 3 months. What was we expecting for her to do? Somebody help me understand. If Trump only had 3 months and Kamala had 4 years, Kamala would have won by a long margin. You can't, that's like you got two boxers, you got two fighters. My man, he been training for 4 years. My man right here, he only been training for 3 months. My man right here that's been training for 3 months, he gonna do his thing because he's a boxer, he's a fighter. So he gonna do his thing. But my man over here that's been training for 4 years, most likely my man over here that's been training for 4 years, most likely he's gonna win. And that's with anything, in any competition. However, sometimes it don't work that way. But we have to look at this logically, okay? I want everybody to look at it logically. And then I'm going to come to your comments in the chat. Brent says, in racist and male chauvinists, it's no change in their mind, no matter how long or how well she campaigned. I understand that, but let me explain to y'all how Trump won. Now, I'm going to tell y'all how Trump won. Trump had I believe it was, what was those stats that I read? Trump had the 55-year-old white men on lock. He had those 55-year-old white men on lock. He had a larger percentage of older white women on lock. He had those votes. Wasn't nobody getting those votes from him. And I agree on that. You know how he won. He didn't win from the white votes. Trump won from the minority votes. He won from the Hispanics. He won from the immigrants. He won from, believe it or not, he won from the black community. More black people voted for Trump than they did Kamala. And that was just because, and I'm going to tell you how she messed up with the majority of black people. This is how she messed up with the majority of black men, okay? When Obama came after black men for not voting for her, she lost us. Then also when she came with that Harris opportunity agenda, she lost a lot of black votes. So trust me, she could have beat Trump if she had more time. She just ain't have enough time. Because Trump didn't have all the votes on lock. He had the 55-year-old white men. He had that on lock. He had the majority of elderly white women. But when it came to, okay, appreciate your cash, appreciate your super sticker, Cable, appreciate your super chat. Cable Dude says, I agree. Kamala was not given a fair chance to campaign. In my opinion, I respect your opinion, and it probably would have been the same. I respect your opinion.
Doesn't need
No,
money.
she's so rich.
Right.
Like, I don't think that she did it for the money. But I believe Oprah in regard to the production company. Oprah doesn't do a daily talk show anymore. So it makes sense in wanting to pay a crew and get all the equipment necessary to do it.
But
in their defense, they looked at it like it was a business. In their defense. And Oprah, Roland Martin, and everybody else that got paid off of it, they looked at it like it was a business. So I'm not mad at them for charging her. Shit, if you see a fool, if a fool gonna let you, work them, then, be my guest. So I'm not mad at Oprah and them. I'm not mad at Roland Martin and them. They feel like shit. The Democrat Party, Kamala and them, they not my friends. They not coming to me to be my friend. They coming to me for a favor.
That's why I said it's not the end of the story. Look, I can get your crew to do that. What? Skip, 10%, 5%, 2% of the money, right? They wanted a celebrity spectacular. I watched it. If you see it, there's like hundreds and hundreds of screens on there and giant. I mean, it was, and none of it felt like the working man, right? None of it felt like you were going to fight for women's rights in an organic way, etc.
That's a good point. I didn't think about how the star-studded events, like the way that they came across to.
Oh, it came across terrible. Yeah. And Meryl Streep and Julia Roberts and every other celebrity. Oh, all the rich elite celebrities support Kamala Harris. I'm like, make it stop. Make it stop. I mean, I didn't know that she was paying $2.5 million for that. Okay, so guys, the reason why she is overall paying in different ways, whether it's ads to money to nonprofits, money to stats, etc., the reason why she's paying for all this earned media is because she couldn't do earned media. Earned media is you come on a show, it could be any show, but let's use us as an example. Come on the Young Turks and you answer the goddamn questions. That's it, period. That's actually period, right?
Yep.
But she can't handle that. So I think part of the reason why they were doing that is like, now everybody, we're about to give you $500,000 so you know what kind of questions to ask. Because she cannot handle tough questions.
I think it's kind of hilarious how this campaign was kind of a microcosm of redistributing wealth to some extent from the bottom to the top, right? Because look, Kamala Harris did take money from billionaire donors, but way smaller percentage of her donations came from billionaires. She had a lot of small dollar donors. And so like the idea that all this money gets spent on these rich celebrities is hilarious. Like Lady Gaga in Philadelphia, John Bon Jovi in Detroit, Christina Aguilera in Nevada, James Taylor in North Carolina, Katy Perry in Pittsburgh. The singers themselves were not paid a fee or compensated in that way, officials said, but their support staff was. The overall bill for the election eve rallies exceeded the planned budget and is said to have topped $10 million. The cost overruns were partly because the Harris team built an entire rally venue at a park in Pittsburgh, only to be told by the Secret Service that the site could not be properly secured. They had to rush to take it down and rebuild a second venue. Now, there are other major costs, according to records and the campaign officials who spoke to the Times. That includes $111 million in online ads seeking donation.
Wow, y'all. Are y'all reading this? $111 million in online ads seeking donations. At least 100 million transferred to battleground state parties. $70 million on mail. Nearly $28 million to produce the merchandise that people were ordering.
Donations, at least $100 million transferred to battleground state parties, $70 million on mailers, nearly $28 million to produce the merchandise that people were ordering. And for all...
I'm just going to jump in on that one before we lose track of it, Anna. I don't think any of that is bad. You got to spend money on some ads to get more money, and as long as they have positive ROI on it, that's fine. Mailers are how you try to convince some people. You can agree or disagree on the tactics, but that spend is huge, but not necessarily outrageous at all. It's fairly normal categories of spend.
$111 million in online ads seeking donations?
Because what that doesn't tell you is that probably brought in 150 or 200 million in donations.
Sure. I'd like to just reiterate that Donald Trump's YouTube ads asking for donations were so low production, but in my opinion, better, right? Because it seems like a normal person. And like he's standing in front of a window. He's backlit, meaning he's dark. There's a bright window behind him. He's dark, and he's like, we're trying to raise money for my campaign, you know.
And this is why I say to people, because some people feel like with money, the money can buy them and the money can get them in places. I'll use YouTube for existence. Many people spend money on YouTube for subscribers. Many people on YouTube spend money on views. Many people spend money on YouTube for likes. And then another content creator like myself, which is I get everything out of the mud, I get it organic. And I have success along with the other content creators that don't buy the subscribers and, spend that money on them. We have better success than those that spend money on the subscribers and stuff. It's an old saying, fake it until you make it. I don't really like to go by that motto. I don't live by that motto, fake it till you make it. Because if you don't make it, then you'll be known as somebody that's fake. So I understand that you do have to spend money. She did have to spend money. Trump even spent money, but spend your money wisely is what I'm getting at. And I'm going to get back to the commentary. Spend your money wisely. The Democrat Party did not spend their money wisely when it came to Kamala. They just didn't.
If you can't do it, don't do it. But if you got a buck or two, it comes across as more authentic. And I'm going to venture to say you didn't spend $111 million to put out those ads to ask for money.
No, of course. And the whole glossy thing that they are so obsessed with is actually deeply counterproductive. I'm just being fair about the type of spend that they're doing.
Okay. And for all the focus on her volunteer program, the campaign spent a significant sum, about $50 million, for paid door-to-door canvassers. I have no problem with that. I mean, canvassing is awful. Okay? It's very difficult. People don't want to hear from you. They don't want you knocking on their door. So canvassers are American heroes, and they deserve to be paid. So I have no problem with that.
Yeah, except, again, now we go to, is that a category that you're spending? Yes, definitely. Okay, I would have loved it if they had enough volunteers.
And see, and let me say this, y'all, and I'm not going to keep y'all that much longer. Let me say this in her defense, and it's not to take from the men. It's not to take from the men, but she's a woman. She's a woman. And one thing that you got to give to a woman, this is God creating the woman for what? To help us. Now, even in a short period of time, a woman can work magic. Even in a short period of time, a woman can work magic. Imagine if she had ample amount of time. I promise y'all, I listened to her. And in that presidential debate with her and Trump, she was on it. My opinion, she beat the presidential debate. She beat that debate against Trump. She just didn't have enough time, y'all. Trust me. It's some things that men can do better than women. It's some things that women can do better than men. You give a woman ample amount of time to prepare for something, she's going to run circles around a man. I'm just being honest with you. I'm good, but I know if you put a woman and you give the woman the same position that I got, and you give her the same amount of time that I got, that woman is going to run circles around me. I'm being honest with you. Because me being a man, I know my capabilities. I know my potentials. I've been around women all my life. I watch them work. And I be like, damn. I'm going to take a few comments from the chat and then we're going to get out of here. Salute, Antoinette. Salute. I see you. Antoinette says, why did try to get the young people to vote for her with rappers and comedians? Hasoka says, statistically, the economy does better under Democrats if you want to get into it. Crystal Hippie says, what is a woman? Positive Vibe says, she did good in the debate. Hasoko says, no question, she won the debate. But so think most people already had their minds made up. Right. Salute, Yolanda. So with the debate, I guess she, along with the Democrat Party, felt as though because she won the debate, I thought that they felt it was an automatic win for the actual presidential election. And I said it, and many of you said it, we said it. Just because she won the presidential debate, that don't guarantee her a win. That won't guarantee her a win. That won't guarantee her a win in the presidential election. The presidential debate and the presidential election is two different things. Wiley says, will you throw it back for us? Oh, I don't know what you mean, throw it back. I don't know what you mean, throw it back. I'll take a few comments and then we're going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody for pulling up. If y'all can pull back up at 9 o'clock, I do have the father of Darisha Bailey, and she was tragically killed at the age of 17. A friend of her boyfriend, along with the boyfriend was in the car. They ran over her. They hit her, ran over her, then backed up over her and ran over her again. So I'm going to be having her father back on the platform to give us some breaking news. That friend has been arrested. And that's what the family and her supporters were aiming for, because they didn't even arrest them. So make sure everybody pull back up at 9 o'clock. Brent says, do America have any real men anymore? Well, we got men, but it's agenda. It's an agenda to destroy the masculinity in men. But there are plenty of men, real men. You're looking at one, but it's just an agenda to destroy the masculinity. And if you're being disrespectful in the chat, my moderator's going to get you up out of here. Moderators, do y'all thing. I see Positive Vibes. They just gotta keep trolling me. And it's okay to troll me. It's a part of the YouTube streets. But just be respectful with your trolling. I don't mind y'all trolling me. It's a part of the YouTube streets. But just be respectful. When my moderators tell you to be respectful, when my moderators to tell you no profanity in the chat, you gotta listen to my moderators, or my moderators gonna get you up out of here. So I appreciate everybody for pulling up. Salute. I'll see everybody back at 9 p.m. Replay game. Drop y'all comments. Salute everybody.